Hello and welcome to this special broadcast on One India. Captain S.S. Panesar is there. He is the former director, flight safety for Indian Airlines, and we are talking to him because of the flight that started off from Trichy in Tamil Nadu towards Sharjah, had to circle over Trichy and the Tamil Nadu region for at least 2.5 hours because the hydraulic failure was there. Captain Panesar, help us understand what is the hydraulic failure and what happens to the plane when it happens during takeoff.
See, on a Boeing 737, there are three hydraulic systems.
Mm-hmm.
They work for different, for landing gear, flaps, and braking and all that. If there's a leak of hydraulic system, I think captain has taken the right decision to land back at Trichy.
Mm-hmm.
And since the flight, a long flight, and landing at Sharjah with a snag and all that would have been much difficult for the airline to send a staff for repairs and all that to Sharjah. No, he
Mm-hmm.
landed by done a good decision. But how this leak has taken place, they have to investigate why this leak has taken place. Did the
Absolutely.
captain also go checklist? You know, when they before takeoff, they go around the aircraft. And
Mm-hmm.
if there any leak, they can observe leak also. If the pilot did not observe the leak, that means
Mm-hmm.
something happened after takeoff. And some
Right.
system, and that's all the hydraulic leaked out. Sometimes the system goes, you cannot even take the gear up. You can't take the
Mm-hmm.
wheels don't go up and you have some further emergency, it'll be very serious.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I appreciate this decision to land back at Trichy to save the, airline functioning. They have to send a staff to Sharjah with all the mail and material. It'll take a long time, and then the Sharjah investigation board have intervened. It would have delayed a number of days for the flight to be released. But since he landed
Okay.
back at Trichy, he's done a good job. I
Right, sir.
appreciate that. But no, they have to investigate how this leak took place. It's not a very common thing, but it has happened earlier also. Number of times when the hydraulic leaks take place, and
Mm-hmm.
the pilot has to land back immediately as per the checklist.
Right. Also, sir, help us understand the pilot decided to circle around the Indian airspace for 2.5 hours. We have been told that it is because of the fuel that it was carrying from since the time of takeoff. What does that mean? How does that work?
So I tell you, every aircraft is entitled for a particular takeoff weight, considering the
Okay.
airport temperature, winds, and all that. But if you take up with a maximum weight, you are not supposed to land with the maximum landing weight, because landing weight you have to be reduced it. Otherwise,
Okay.
it will be very see the tire burst and so many things can happen. To
Mm-hmm.
reduce the weight of the aircraft, so they have to dump the fuel.
Mm-hmm.
If they can, some aircraft have the facility to dump the fuel so that the weight of the aircraft is reduced to a landing weight,
Mm-hmm.
maximum landing weight, and then he can land safely.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's very serious emergency, he can land with a maximum landing weight also, with the extra cautious, smooth landing and with a proper speed and all that. But he
Right.
must have been hoping to dump the fuel or waste the fuel by flying over so that the landing weight comes into the within the limits and all that. For the safe
Right, sir.
landing weight to circle around to either to dump the fuel or to use the fuel. If there's no dumping facility, like
Mm-hmm.
big aircraft, they have a dumping facility. You can dump the fuel, whatever you
Mm-hmm.
like it, to bring the landing weight within the limit.
Mm-hmm.
If you take up the takeoff weight, it is not the same landing weight. Landing weight is much less than the takeoff weight.
Absolutely. After covering that distance, the fuel is also used. Captain Panesar, as you rightly mentioned, that the pilot did the right thing by landing in India in Trichy itself. We have just been told that flight AI 613 captain was Daniel Pelissa, a woman captain, sir, and kudos to her, as you just mentioned. And what is the kind of training or pressure handling technique that the pilots must be undergoing? She took off. She realized that the front wheel is not closing down. The hydraulic problem is there. Then she had to make a lot of decisions.
Yes, you see, all these emergency procedures are listed in a booklet, which is a
Hmm.
quick reference handbook. They're also on a computer also. Any emergency takes place, he has to follow the checklist. And as
Hmm.
per checklist, If his takeoff weight is more than the landing weight, he has to consume fuel or dump fuel to make the aircraft the landing weight. And all these training has been given to the pilots during the simulator training and flying training. And by definitely technical circular pilots are given enough training to how to land with the maximum landing weight. But if there is a greater emergency, like if an engine also fails, then he can land with the maximum landing weight, maximum takeoff weight also. And he has to land very cautiously so the tires don't burst. So he can land with the maximum takeoff weight also. But it is better if we dump the fuel or use the fuel and land within the landing weight limit, so there's no further damage on the tires and all that after landing.
Right. Captain S.S. Panesar, thank you so much for talking to us and taking time out at such a short notice. We really appreciate, and your inputs are most welcome. Act as an awareness thing also for our viewers. Thank you, sir.
Don't miss out. Log on to oneindia.com for more updates.